In the next few weeks, we will be going to Baraboo, Wisconsin to do our own little field trip. We're just going to spend a weekend there. This is about the area where it is. Tiberius is making his screams in the background. He wants it in the basement. He's not going to get it. But those of you that have watched me before know this is the area of the Baraboo Syncline. It's the whole area is known by many names, the Baraboo Range, and a bunch of other things. So we're going to be going here to look at the geology, mostly the Precambrian geology, and we will focus on some of the structural geology. We may visit a couple Cambrian spots, I don't know yet, but I'm going to take you to the spots we plan on visiting. Now, I wish I could take you to every single place that I can, but obviously I can't do that. I don't have the time, but I will give you guys needed resources and things like that so you can get a general idea of how the area is itself. But even on a Google map here, you can see the outline of the Baraboo Syncline. Now, the Baraboo Syncline is a Precambrian Proterozoic uh, sedimentary sequence. It's called the Baraboo interval. I don't like using that word. I've mentioned that before. I think they should change the name. But these quartzites are all throughout the Midwest. But we're going to focus here because this is the type locality, if you will. There's no real type locality. I mean, there is for the formations, but not for the sequence itself. There's so many things with Baraboo attached to it. We gotta think of something better. But this is basically the Precambrian stratigraphy. Now, for a long time, we weren't sure the age of this. We thought it was late Paleoproterozoic, so 1.8 to 1.6 billion years ago. Now it's looking like it might be really early Mesoproterozoic or a little tiny bits in the Paleoproterozoic and the rest is in the Mesoproterozoic. We don't really know. So we're looking at 1.60 or 1.63, somewhere around there, to about 1.55. Now, the whole area is its own new orogeny that it wasn't before. And I'll talk more about that when we do the video called the Pinwar Piquus or Pinware Picris Baraboo orogeny. It's sort of this between orogeny that's mashed between the Matzal orogeny and the Wolf River, which kind of form this orogeny. So it is pretty long. It's kind of an oddity, but we're pretty sure now that it happened. The Wolf River event, which probably had something to do with this. I'm just going to give you a quick area. This will be probably in the video as well. We're over here, but these purple quartzites or pink quartzites, whatever you want to call them, are common throughout the Midwest. We have this little area here. That's Thunder Mountain. Or, sorry, that's the Wolf River event. This little tiny bit here is Thunder Mountain quartzite. The Baraboo is where a lot of it's actually the birthplace of structural geology. A lot of stuff was figured out. I'm going to try to take you in the order I plan on taking you in the trip. It might change a little bit. We will visit numerous places in the quartzite, but that quartzite's not the only thing we're going to look at. So we'll be in this area here. As you can see, this is the Wolf River is about 1.45 billion years old. That event, plus or minus, it's a little longer. That actually goes back to about 1.506. So we know the Baraboo has to be older than that, and so it's 1.506 is the youngest it can possibly be, and I believe the oldest it can possibly be is 1.64 something. But I'll go into that more in the detail. So we have it bracketed really well now. I mean, even 50 years ago, people were still arguing whether this thing might have been Pinocchian in 100 years ago. Not even. I don't think people thought this might have been Cretaceous. So it's been a long time coming, but we've got better maps. And many of you may be familiar with Dot's 1970 map that I've talked about before. That's this. Well, Stewart and Stewart over in 2020, 2021 have remapped some of it. These are the three quadrangle maps right here. You have Rock Springs, Freedom, and Baraboo quadrangles. I have them over done here. Really wish I would have done the quartzite in purple. They did discover a few things, like a couple of faults that weren't known before. Let me see, which one is this? This is North Freedom. Okay, this is where the Baxter Hollow Granite is. We're going to take you there. But you can see these are their fault symbols. I don't know why they're like this. Well, the thrust ones I can see, but that's we got faults here. See, and these are in meters. They don't do it in feet. However, the topo line interval is in feet because their USGS maps and USGS topo maps are all in feet. They tried doing meters for a while and just no one wanted to use them. So they kind of gave up on it. But these are in meters. So you can see the fault is offset maybe 200 meters or so. That's a decent offset, but it's not huge. Ductile deformation, as you can see, is still pretty much dominant over brittle deformation here. The brittle deformation probably came way later, maybe even during the Grenville accretions, 1.3 to 1. Or 1.0 billion years ago, somewhere in there. All right, so where am I going to take you? Let's see. That. So here we are, the Baraboo Range. Now, I'm going to take you first to the couple classic sites over in the Rock Springs area. Let me see if I can find them here. All right, let's go to Rock Springs. You can see it's over here. All right. We will be looking at, let's see if I have it. Do I have it open? No, it must be here. This is basically the stratigraphy. This is my geologic map of Devil's Lake. As you can see here, here's the symbols. However, I got to change this. There's the Jordan sandstone there. It should be right here, and I forgot to put it there. We will be trying to visit that if we can. So that's one of the Cambrian units. The other will be the Parfrey's Glen at Parfrey's Glen. So that's where we'll try to do it. But this is the Baraboo. This here is the Baxter Hollow. These are the rhyolites. We're going to try to see most of this stuff. So if we're first going to start going over here, Rock Springs. So this is the classic spot. There will be some structural geology here. This is an active quarry. We will not be going there. I did get a drone. This will be taken with us. There are some places we are not going to be able to fly it just because of the trees, and I want to go before they start budding so you can see more stuff. This is where Hinckley and Schmidt, I think, used to originally own this. This was a public well, artesian natural spring. So not a well, it was a natural spring, and the locals used to just come get water here. Well, it was purchased by water bottling company. I think it was Hinckley and Schmidt back in the 90s. Everybody got mad, so they ran a pipe to this side, so you can still get it free right here. Flows 365, 24/7, never stops, even in the dead of winter. So you can fill water jugs up there, or you can pay $2 for a 20-ounce bottle. Your choice. Anyway, now we'll come back to here. But no, actually, I think we will start here because this is the south wall. This is an old quarry. Abelman's. It's a natural area now, so you're not supposed to pick at it with a hammer or anything. But it used to be a quarry a long time ago. I think it's. I've tried finding the actual date when it became inactive, so I want to say 1920s. But here is the south wall. This was used to have the great ripple marks on it, which finally failed and gave way to frost wedging in the winter between 2014 and 2015. So essentially 2015. So there's another place with better ripple marks that we're going to take you to now, but I need to take you here first to show you the general structure of it, to show you what's going on. Then we're going to go to Van Hise Rock, which should show up. Yeah, this is where you park, but the rock's right here. This is protected. Do not crack at it, hit at it. Don't disturb it in any way. We'll talk about this little rock, historic rock here. Then I'm going to go over here, which I think it is maybe right about, it's in here somewhere. I need to actually go to look, or yeah, I think it's up here. But here we have the vertical contact between the Great Unconformity, which is the Baraboo Quartzite in this case, and the Cambrian Galesville member of the Wanawak Formation. It's right here, and it's vertical. It's depositional, not faulted. So that will be where we will start. Then we will come back a little bit and kind of work our way up through sections. So we're going to kind of go down again. But I don't know if I want to do this next or later. I think I'm going to do it. I may do it as next. We're going to go to Devil's Lake. We might do a little bit of it over here. The Cambrian porphyries, Glen, and great unconformities exposed over here. I have video of that. I've done videos on that. I don't think we're going to climb it this time, but right in here is an expression of Pompelli's rule, where smaller structures, human scale structures, are basically mini versions of the larger structure. In this case, a Baraboo syncline. I'm going to show you, take some measurements, all that stuff. So I'm going to do that there. The should we go here? No, we'll do that later. No, might just do it here so we're not going back and forth too much. So, yeah, sorry, I had this planned out. I'm looking, yeah, should be the next spot. There's a spot that is also protected that used to be on US 12 itself, but no longer is. Where is that thing? It should be due west of Devil. Yeah. US 12 used to come down through this way. It used to do something like this. But they decided to move it. And when they moved it, what happened was a once busy outcrop was no longer on a busy road. No longer there anymore. What's up here? All right, so I actually did a video many, many moons ago. Let's see if I can find it. In my younger days, in my pre-beard days, where I did a video at this outcrop when it was still US 12. I think they moved it in 2017, 2018. So let's see, Baraboo, Bauman. It should come up. Let's try this. See if that works. It's on my old channel that I stopped using, but the videos are still up here. Oh, man, no, it's not coming up. Let's just get rid of that. Actually, no, let's do that. Let's just try that. See if it comes up. It was shortly after I started the non-for-profit. It's not coming up. So let's try Baraboo Bauman. Sorry, guys. Baraboo Bauman. I'm sorry. It came up on my phone, but it's not coming up on this. We will be visiting this, but I will be going more into depth. This we'll be visiting here again too, but not in as much depth. I can't find it. Anyway, it was in my younger days. So, yeah. Anyway, I was here at this outcrop and 12 still came through here at the time. But now it's this quiet little outcrop at the end of this little circle here, and there's a campground over here somewhere. But anyway, there's some structural measurements, some things I want you to see. This is also protected. Don't hammer at it. Don't take samples of it. It's near the top of the formation. Then what we're going to do is we are going to leave that alone, and I'm going to take you to the basal rhyolites. Now, I haven't really talked about these that much. They're exposed in many places, but the most accessible ones I'm going to take you to right off Highway 33. Let's see, West Baraboo, I think it's back further than that. This is 33. Yeah, they're up here. Okay, so we have the rhyolites. They're exposed up here. There are pink and or red and black rhyolites, not exactly those colors, but they're close. So you can get dark felsic rhyolites. This is one of the places they're at. There's another location over here I want to take you to. It's also exposed, but I don't think we'll be going to Devil's Nose area. It doesn't come up when you search it, but this is it. This train track over here, it's not private property as far as I know. But yeah, it's over here. We're not going to go there. And then there's a church somewhere over here it's exposed at, but we're not going to go there either. So we're going to stay up top there. Okay, and then we are also going to go back to the lower narrows. This is also called the lower narrows, where Van Nuys Rock is, and Abelman's Gorge is called the upper narrows. There's so at least those names are different than just Baraboo. See, what do we have? Baraboo Formation, Baraboo Syncline, Baraboo Interval, Baraboo Range. There's all these things, and it just gets to be messy. But anyway, so here you are in the formation. Let me bring up that map. I believe that is in the Baraboo quadrangle. And see here, this is Stewart and Stewart's map. I think this one's 2021. Here you can see how the Parfrey's Glen intertongues with the other Cambrian units. They aren't the same thing. So here's something we're going to come back to, but we're not going to visit it here. We're going to visit it in town. Sorry, apologize. Here's the lower narrows. We are in unit XBUC, which is upper XUBC. So they divided the Baraboo out into four informal members. I don't know why they just didn't name them. Get it over with. XBU. So we're in the upper conglomerate quartzite member. So we're in the top half of the formation there. About, sorry, still trying to get over cold. All right, so we will be going there. And then, unfortunately, the formations above, the Precambrian formations above the Baraboo quartzite. Let's see, let's go. And those will be in the Sealy slate, the Freedom, and the Raleigh Creek slate are not exposed. This was mined, it's banded iron, dolo stone. This is slate, this is slate. However, this is exposed. There's a couple locations. We will be visiting the one that is easily accessible, but was not when I last visited it. Oh, wait, I can show you actually because it is here. I do have it. Sorry, I'm trying not to make snorting noises here. Where is it? Take Ridge, Devil's Lake, Blue Mounds, Fall of Abelman's Gorge. Yeah, if you go to the website, you can see this is the Abelman's Gorge, the first stop we're going to do. And this is the iconic ripples that used to be there. And that's my buddy Chad. That was 2013. And here's me, 2015. So they had fallen. But anyway, I digress. Let's see. Where is the bloody thing? Dake Ridge, Devil's Lake. Baraboo River. This is where we will be going. There is a bit of the Dake exposed right here. And we will be visiting that. But in the map that is located, here's Modern 12. It is right, where's the river? Baraboo River. Here. It is right here. Now, when I visited this place, when did I visit this? When was this map made? This was made in 2013. So 10 years ago when I was here, this road was not here at all. There was no road here. We had to park in the Jehovah Witnesses lot and walk, beat brush, go through the thorn bushes to get down here. It's exposed right here. Now we can just park over here and cut this way. So that's what we're going to do. Well, or we might park right here. I don't know. We'll get down there one way. It's a lot easier now. That is an active track, so we have to be careful. So we'll be visiting that. Let me see if there's anything else. I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it. There is Parfrey's Glen. I'm just gonna Parfrey's Glen because it takes me a while to find it. So we'll zoom out, there's Devil's Lake right there. Parfrey's Glen. It's to the east of that. Parfrey's Glen. There it is. You're also not supposed to pound at things on Parfrey's Glen. Pretty much the only place where you can pound at things are railroad tracks and things like that, and along the roadside, except for that one that used to be on 12. Don't do that. That is protected outcrop. Not the one at the Baraboo River, the other one. So here's Parfrey's Glen. You park, you walk through here, and you keep going, and it is a little bit of a walk before you get to the good stuff. And you basically, the creek is the trail, and you get into the Cambrian Parfrey's Glen Formation. This is the type section, and you start to see Baraboo pebbles and whatnot. Now, I would like to get, let's go to Denzer. I would like to get to Denzer Quarry. Denzer, because there's something interesting at Denzer Quarry. There's Devil's Lake where the cursor is. The quarry is over here. This is between the Jordan, I think the Jordan and Orienta are exposed here. Which ones are they? Let's go back here just to get this trigger free. I closed my other one. Let's see. Dake Quartzite, Raleigh Creek, St. Lawrence, Wanawalk. That's two members in Wisconsin are part of that. In Illinois, the Ironton and Galesville are two different formations. It might be Tunnel City Group. Jordan 4, I think it's the Jordan and the Oneota are exposed here. And you have tiny bits of Baraboo pebbles in here. Now, in the 1970, or in the late 60s, but 1970 map, there was a plate in there which shows you class size of Baraboo quartzite in the Cambrian. And generally, as you move away from here, they get smaller and smaller. Parfrey's, or right at Devil's Lake on top, they're pretty big. They're boulder size. Parfrey's Glen, cobble size, boulder size. And down here, they're barely even pebble sized. So, that would happen as a, in an encroaching sea, and the pebbles are slowly being shed down from what these used to be. Basically, the present topography is in what we call an exhumed paleotopography. It's not an exact match, but when the Cambrian seas came in from the south, modern south, these stood as islands. These were being eroded, the quartzite hills. Okay, so those are standing as islands. As the seas came in, you would get the Baraboo would start shedding things, boulders, cobbles, sand would be deposited in beach environments, and then eventually nearshore marine sands, and things would be shed off. And the more the waves worked those boulders, they would become cobbles and they could go a little further. Then they would be worked a little more and become pebbles that could go a little further. But generally, in the Cambrian, they're not found outside of this area. That's it. That's the extent of the Baraboo pebbles or quartzite in the Cambrian is whatever coarse class. And also, the Baraboo also served as a source of sand too, because it originally was a sandstone. But we'll talk about all that later. So that's basically the history, and eventually the hills would become covered as the Sauk sequence transgressed, and yeah, we would start getting carbonates and stuff like that deposited on top of it. But I think that's all I'm going to talk about. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And I hope you learned. Bleh, I hope you learned something.